Welcome to Beyond Broken Hungry. Juggling your career, relationships, nutrition, fitness, finance, try to pursue your dreams, and stay sane can be a bit of a struggle. With the help of expertise from a variety of wellness experts and tips and tricks from everyday people, this podcast is here to share it all to make this journey we call life just a little more balanced. I'm stumbling towards wellness right alongside you, and I'm so happy to have you come along this journey. With that in mind, let's jump into this week's episode of Beyond Broken Hungry. Hey, what's up, friend? Welcome back to another episode of Beyond Broken Hungry. I'm your host, Dara Sweat. First of all, I want to apologize for going dark on the pod and socials for the past few weeks. I'm going through some things. But after I had a little bit of a pity party and started doing some healing work, I'm not quite done with it yet, but enough to get my butt back in gear. And I feel like I'm ready to start feeling like I can be an inspiration to you again in some way. So yeah, I'm just kind of getting off of a really rough start to 2023. So let's just get right into it, shall we? If your year so far has been anything like mine, you know it's been less than smooth in its takeoff. Like, I feel like I went into this year and everything was in place, everything was ready to go, and then boom, just something out of left field came and absolutely wrecked the path that I had laid out, just annihilated it. I'm not really ready to talk about it specifically. It's honestly super personal. And although like I'm very transparent with you guys on this podcast, some things I just don't want to talk about in detail publicly. Just know that I am doing the work to heal from it. And I'm actually going to talk about more of that healing stuff in another episode after this one. Just be prepared for that because I've been doing a lot of work. But then, you know, once I kind of started to feel like, okay, I'm ready to take this year back, like getting kind of back into a routine, like forcing myself to just get, you know, in a groove, I got the flu, like the flu. And apparently the stronger variant, because there's like the A and the B variant. I guess the A variant is like the stronger variant of the flu. And that's the one I got because y'all know if I'm going to do it, I'm going to do it right. Okay. Like I'm not going to half-ass these things. So basically my body was like, what the actual F is this? Like, what is going on? Cause I don't really get sick. Like, I mean, the past couple years I've had COVID, AKA the common cold. And you know, it was rough the first time. And then the second time was like 48 hours and I was totally fine. So this was like 4 days of hell. Like I would have COVID again 7 times before I had to get the flu again. Like just not the vibes, not for me. I have to say though, there were some bright spots to being sick too, actually. I got a lot of sleep and rest. I just took so many naps and stayed off my phone, was off my computer. It was like nice to have that break, although it wasn't like a break that I did for myself. It was like a break that the universe was like, hey, you're going to be basically halfway to your deathbed for the next 5 days. Stay off your phone. I couldn't really enjoy it as much as maybe I would have liked to, but it was nice nonetheless. Like I'm not good at napping. I'm not good at that. Like even on like days where I have nothing going on and I'm just chilling, I will literally stay awake the entire day and just go to bed early because I'm just not a good napper. Like I have to be sick or really, really, really like really overwhelmingly busy in order for like a nap to happen. It just doesn't really happen. Like at my grandma's house, I nap. Like that's the only time that like my body's like, okay. But anyway, number 2 bright spot, I was really proud of my body and how it handled the flu. I did wait like 4 days to go to the doctor because I'm just not the kind of person that is going to jump at the opportunity to go to the doctor. I think it's a waste of time and money for a cold, in my opinion. To each their own on that. Like I literally, if you're a person that's like, I'm sick, ew, no, I have to go to the doctor. Cool. That's awesome for you. I'm not that person. I'm like, I'm going to wait until I'm literally dying before I'm like, maybe we should get some medical professional help. But I'd honestly at first would rather try some natural approaches. Y'all know I'm a little half toxic. So, I try to do things kind of naturally, but also with like over the counter aid. It might take a little bit more time to let your body go through it and heal from it, but I'd rather do that than shove a pill down my throat. But I digress. I mean, it was very empowering to rock the flu half toxic. And what I mean by half toxic is like, I still took ibuprofen a couple times because the body aches were just no joke. And I mean, like, I had all my essential oils and all my supplements and everything else, but like nothing was like making the body aches go away. Even my deep blue, like I love doTERRA's deep blue, and I will put that all over my knees and my back and my neck and like my shins and my ankles, like when I have like a heavy workout day or like just when I'm like sore, and that usually works really well. But for this, it was just like, it was radiating like purple. Like I just couldn't, I needed some ibuprofen. It was the only thing that helped. But I did end up taking my health cocktail, the gut health cocktail that I make and I take every day. But I did it in hot water. So I would like brew hot water and then do the shot in there and drink that like 1 or 2 times a day just to help boost my immune system. Of course, on top of my greens and macro factor. And y'all, I was so sick. Like, I'm not going to be coming up on social in my stories, be like 103-degree fever. Make sure that we're, chugging our Opti greens and taking our micro factor. Like that just, I was sick. Like I didn't even want to touch my phone, look at the screen, let alone like be like, hey, update, I'm still dying. But I did get Mucinex, and I took NyQuil like once or twice, to help with congestion and sleep, because it was just, my cough was so bad at night that like, I wasn't sleeping very well. I literally had to like prop myself up and sit like upright to sleep, because just my cough would be relatively mild during the day, but at night it was like, it would just go off. So it was annoying. But as far as like medication and stuff like that, that's really all I took. And by the time I went to the doctor, I had a fever for 4 days. And like day 3, it broke for like 2 hours. And then I woke up in the middle of the night and had a fever again. So day 4, I was like, oh my God, my grandma and my mom were like freaking out about it. They're like, you need to go to the doctor. So I was like, all right, fine. Like I'll humor them and I'll go. But at that point, I mean, they were pretty much like, well, you have the flu, but there's nothing we can do for you. That'll be $50. Like, okay, thanks for nothing. I guess in a way it was just nice to have the data. And, obviously for work purposes, like I'm sick. Yes, I'm sick. And like all of like my bosses and all my clients are like very much like, oh, okay, like no worries, feel better, like whatever. I'm always on my stuff. So like when I have a setback, they're just like, oh, wow, you okay? Like, yeah, you never are sick. So like take care of what you need to do. Take care of you. But I mean, they didn't even do anything. And granted, like I was like 4 days out. So basically they were like, you just have to let it finish running its course, which was what I was doing in the first place. Just like letting my body like do its thing. Like God gave me an immune system and white blood cells to do stuff like that, to fight off viruses. Like I was trusting my body, but I just appeased my mom and my grandma to go. And like, okay, like I can see why people would go after 24 hours of a fever or like whatever, because maybe they want to get rid of the virus faster. Maybe you have a job where you can't just take a couple days off. That is why Western medicine exists. That is why doctors exist. That is why medication exists, so that people can, take the pill, take the medicine, and get right back to it 48 hours later. Totally, I know that my situation is unique. I work from home like 90% of the time. So, I have very leeway clients and bosses that are just super awesome. So I know that my situation is unique. I am not sitting here saying like, just don't go to the doctor. Like you do what's best for you. That's just what I felt was best for me. And honestly, it wasn't even like 12 or 15 hours later that my fever broke. And then finally I was like, once I was like 24 hours of a fever, I pretty much was smooth sailing from that point on. So for me personally, like unless like there's been a time where it was like 6 days and I was like still not getting better. And then all of a sudden, like the pain was like in my like gut as well. And this was like, I want to say 2017 or maybe 2018, like early 2018. And I ended up in the hospital for 3 days, and I was septic. Like, they have no idea what happened. I even followed up with doctors, and they were like, yeah, we have no idea. Like, whatever was in your body, like whatever like infected your bloodstream, like, is gone now. So we don't know what it is. I'm like, oh, great, cool. Like, thank you for letting me know, like, what happened. So, like, I know, I get it. Like, sometimes maybe you do need to go to the doctor, but in the journey since then, I've learned so much about my body. Like, I know when my body is like, hey, we're not okay. I really prefer to listen to it. I really prefer to just kind of slow down. And the only time that I'll really like make the excuse to slow down is when I'm sick. So anyways, enough about like whining from me and kind of, venting about my sickness and stuff. All of this stuff felt like a setback while I was going through it, not gonna lie, especially some of the stuff that happened before I got sick with the flu. But now that I'm like kind of out of the fog, I'm starting to see that it was honestly more of a slingshot style situation. I got pulled back a little bit so that I could see the bigger picture on some stuff. Like, I really been looking at my life and my goals and work and just like everything, like professional, relationship, like friendship, like everything, spiritual, everything, physical, everything. Like, I'm looking at it with such a broader perspective now. And I'm just like getting in position to absolutely destroy my goals for this year. Like, just really, like, I'm in it. Like, I'm here for it. I know I'm late on this, but I did want to share that I did actually do my goals for 2023. I did write them down. As I mentioned in the first episode of this year, I categorized my goals into 6 sections. So health, home, financial, fun, family, and professional. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Yeah, I was just making sure that was right. Those are the sections that I split everything up in. And then I try to pick like at least 2, but no more than 8. Like, I would say like 2 to 8 is like a good sweet spot, because you don't want to overwhelm yourself with stuff. And they can be as general or specific as possible. But I'm just going to give you a couple examples of some of the goals that I have. So one of my main goals for this year is really get back into therapy. I stopped seeing my counselor last year. I don't even know why. I just kind of like stopped going because I was like, oh, like, I'm fine. I'm healed. I don't need you anymore. And after like the start of this year, I kind of realized like, okay, like it's time for me to go back in. I go like once a month, generally, but lately I've been going twice a month just because I really like need some professional help through some of this stuff. So that's been one of my things. And then also I want to go to church most weeks. Like, I have a really awesome routine and relationship with God. Like, I truly, truly do. I truly know God is real. Like, He's done so much for my life. I've been blessed by Him in so many ways. And I owe so much of my success. I owe all my success, everything to God. Even the less than awesome things that have happened in my life, like, they've been catapults for even better things. So, I've kind of gotten to the point where like my devotion isn't enough for me personally. It's just not enough. Like, I want to give God more time. So, aside from the last 2 weeks, I have actually physically gone to church, every Thursday. My church does it Thursdays and Sundays. So I have physically been in church every week aside of the pretty much this year. Except for obviously when I was sick, I watched. So yeah, I've been like really happy about that. And then I want to lose 10 more pounds this year. I hit my goal last year. So I'm just going to try to do it again, and tone some stuff up. And that's like under health. For home, I'm not going to read all of these off to you because like there's are a few, but just to kind of give you some, perspective of like what I'm looking towards this year. And this is also good for me too. So with my home, I just want to stay consistent with my routines. I really built up some good ones, keeping things clean. And one of my things that I really want to do is create a peaceful and loving vibe in my home. I feel like I already have that. But I really want it to be the space that when I invite people over, they immediately feel that when they walk in the door. They just immediately feel peace. They immediately feel, this love, and just good vibe, For financial, I was a little financially irresponsible in the fall, and I'm just being totally honest. I really was. I was swipe central with my credit card. So my financial goals is to get out of credit card debt, and just, save, keep up with my systems that I set for myself. Fun stuff, more beach walks / runs, which I've been doing a really good job at. I have seriously, like, every week, at least once a week, even if it's just 30 minutes, I have been going to the beach, walking, listening to a podcast, running, whether I go by myself or I bring Bella, whatever. It's been amazing. And then, so I turned 30 this year. I turned 30 in September. So I've always wanted to go to Napa Valley. And I feel like what better way to celebrate being 30 than with a bunch of my girlfriends and a bunch of wine. So that is a big, big goal. I have one more wedding that I'm in this year, and then I'm finally done. I'm sure I'll be a guest at some, like there's a couple that I know are going to be coming up soon and stuff like that. But like, as far as me being in the wedding, I am very much done after May. So I will have the opportunity to do more fun things that are for me and not for other people. Because everything that I've done with my wedding stuff has been fun, but it's been like fun for other people. It hasn't been like fun in the name of Dara. So for family, my grandpa is just getting old, guys. It is what it is. He just had a really serious shoulder surgery that was put off for like months. So his recovery has taken some time. And I just want to spend as much time with him as possible. He's in good health. He's in good spirits. But I don't want to just say like, oh, well, he's fine, so whatever, he's 85, like, and he's basically one of my best friends. Like, I love my grandpa. I'm a grandpa's girl through and through. So that is a huge, huge goal for me this year, is to just spend as much time with him. I live an hour and a half away from my family. Like, there's really no excuse. I'm arm's length away. So big goal for me is to make sure I do that. And not just for birthdays or, family get-togethers or holidays. Like, I want to just spend time with them because it's, I have a free Saturday or whatever it is. So that's a big thing for me. As far as professional goals, I pretty much hit almost every professional goal that I had for myself last year. And I really, truly believe that is because I wrote it down and I prayed for it and I just made it happen. I put in the work to get it done. So I really want to get a bigger client for Mudflower this year. All of our clients that I've been pulling in so far have been between $3,000 and $5,000 clients. And we always do like payment plans and stuff like that. So, it's not always a big chunk right up front, but I really want to get a $10,000 client. I want a bigger company, bigger project, just all around. Like, that's just at least one that is a bigger ticket client. That's kind of a goal for me this year. I want to grow my Saint business. I just had fun doing the makeup stuff, and it would be really cool to maybe get like an artist underneath me or something. So that would be fun. And I really would like another raise with Lookology because I have not gotten one in a year. So I'm kind of due for one, but I got to put in that work and show my boss that I'm worth it. The company's really great to me, so I really don't have much to complain about, and I get reimbursed on like all of my expenses. They will usually pay for my plane tickets ahead of time. Going to LA is a lot more expensive than going to New York, so I usually have to have them like pay for my ticket instead of me paying for it and them reimbursing me. So I really have nothing to complain about in that. But just for goals for myself, and growth and things like that, I want to be making a little bit more money. And obviously sell tickets to those events for that company as well. That's kind of a big goal for me. So those are some things that I'm going to be working on this year. Obviously, First Form is a big part of my life. I love their products. I use them every single day. And I am a Legionnaire for them. So, I do get commissions on sales and stuff, but I really just want to be able to help more people understand what supplements they should be taking. Like, I know that there's so many people, and I'll do another episode on this too, that are like, you don't need any supplements. I have deficiencies left and right, so I need supplements. I don't know what your personal thing is, but you might need supplements. Like, there's other supplements that like, that are just good for you to have overall. Because I'm sorry, I don't care if you eat 4 to 5 servings of vegetables every single day. Nowadays, the way that our food is made and processed, like you're not getting that regardless. So you need to supplement to help at least meet those micronutrient goals. But again, that'll be for another episode. So I wanted to say, like, regardless of where you're at with your year, if it's like mine and you've had some major setbacks right off the bat, or you're just gaining momentum now, keep going. If you have those setbacks, think of that as the slingshot perspective, okay? Like, yeah, you're being pulled back, but then you're going to be able to see such a bigger picture of your life, of your goals. You're going to be able to see so much more when you have that opportunity to take a step back. And I know sometimes like those step back hurts, it sucks, but it's the opportunity to really take that next step and like go further with your goals. The goal is to be 1% better every day. Rome wasn't built in a day, and stressing about your unrealistic expectations for your life is only going to delay your progress. Take it as it comes. You have to have a plan overall, but I've said this before and I will say this again. You have to be just as flexible with your plans and your goals as you have to be disciplined with them. Because life happens, things happen. If you control your controllables, you'll manage to get further along than you would if you stayed stressing and micromanaging every little thing. So let's take back 2023 together. You got this, friend. Thanks for tuning in to this week's episode of Beyond Broken Hungry. If you aren't already, be sure to subscribe to Beyond Broken Hungry wherever you get your podcast so you can get notified every time a new episode drops. It would also mean the world to me if you rate, review, and share the podcast too, so more people can join the BBH tribe. Follow this podcast on social media at Beyond Broken Hungry to interact and see how I'm stumbling toward wellness one day at a time.